Hi,
I'm Christina.
I'm Maya from
Book
Book
Dreams.
and welcome to a new video. So we have finally read Magic for Liars by Sarah Gailey. We have been reading their backlist for the last several months.
Well, year to be fair.
Yes. And we are now to the last book on our list, and that is Magic for Liars, in which we follow Ivy's last name I don't remember. Who she is a private detective, and she's hired by a headmistress of a magical school to find out who murdered the school nurse. Now there is a connection with the school and her, is that her sister, who is magical, Ivy, who is not, works there as a teacher of some
theoretical magic.
I was going to say magical discipline, but whatever. Yes, theoretical magic.
I
Great.
strictly remember that
right.
one.
So we follow Ivy as she goes to the school, sort of gets to know her sister's life and how she lives in this magical world, and also tries to solve this murder.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think we can just continue on with the magic.
Yes.
There was quite a lack of
explanation
and world building. I think you're the one that wrote. So there's no explanation why the magical adults are teaching.
Yes, that was like, wait, if you have magic, like, is your only option teaching? I know the school administrative assistant, the old lady, yes. Mrs. Webb, I think. She used to be like a healer. So is that your only option, to be a healer or a teacher and nothing else?
Yeah, because the murdered person is a nurse.
Also a healer, yes.
Yes. So like so do they have other occupations they could deal with?
There was some lack of world building.
Yeah, what are the rules of magic? There was like an introduction of the chosen one trope, which kind of played into the plot, but
yes.
It wasn't really explained why or how. Like there was no explanation at all actually of the magical world. Like
it's just there, and
and apparently people know about it, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this is the Harry Potter in us talking, like we need the explanation if there's magic. But yeah, that was one, like maybe a minus.
Yes, what did you think of the mystery?
Okay, so I really like the mystery. I mean, I tend to like crime stories. So this was just I know. So basically, the plot line is that the magical police.
Yes. Okay, so they can be policemen as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess. They decided that the murder was in fact a suicide, and the headmistress is actually the one that believes it was a murder, and that's why she hires Ivy to investigate this. And I know at one point, it's a really gruesome thing that happens. I know I said to Maya at one point, how can anybody call this a suicide? And she was like further along in the book than I was, and she was like, things get explained later. So yes. The magic actually plays
a big part in this.
A big part in this whole story. So that was really interesting. Like,
well, this is how my brain works. Okay. So as you go through the story and you meet the characters, like the suspects, right? And a bunch of them were high schoolers, and I hate reading stuff with high schoolers because high schoolers are just so full of themselves and so ignorant of the world around them, and they make bad decisions, and you get annoyed as a grown-up, right, by their bad decisions. And while you were like getting to know the characters, there was a brother-sister pair, or brother half-sister pair, whatever.
Yeah.
And in my head there was like, okay, so I'm pretty sure that those two, the brother-sister, and this correlates to the relationship between Ivy and her sister, because I felt weirded out by their relationship, and then that colored my perception of the other characters.
Oh, okay.
So in my head, because of Ivy's obsession with her sister, in my head the siblings were in a romantic relationship, and that was my theory.
Whoa.
So that the two of them were in a romantic relationship, and that one of them, because one of them got pregnant, and then because the nurse didn't want to help them, they killed her. That was my theory, right? And when you go on and to see like what actually happened, I have to say I was a bit disappointed. Like in my theory is more like, ooh, this one kind of seemed sort of not mundane because there was magic involved, but yeah, it kind of the ending kind of let me down because my theory was more interesting to me than the actual thing that happened.
Well, okay.
Can we talk about the Ivy Tabitha thing?
Yeah, I think we both had like a problem with
Yeah,
that one. I'm okay. You had a problem with their relationship.
Yes.
I had a problem with Ivy as a character.
But yeah, both is true. And I mean, the first thing that kind of jumped out at me when I was reading this, that Ivy was so obsessed with her sister, and she just, like, I explained it to you, like, this is an ex romantic partner that she wants back. And she was so obsessed with, like, oh my God, she's talking to me. Oh my God, she looked at me like she's yours. Like, they're sisters, and they basically fell out after their mother died, right? And,
Yes.
and just from the beginning, when Tabitha discovered that she has magic and she got sent to these magical schools and stuff and basically left her sister behind, there was a rift in the relationship. And then, you know, as their mother got sick and died, just, you know, they fell apart. So when you find out the reasoning behind Tabitha's
Actions,
thank you. I was like,
behavior.
Behavior throughout the book, and you just definitely paints Ivy as so pathetic.
Yeah.
And it was so not jarring, but it wasn't fun to read a character that doesn't. I mean, I know that you know, you can read flawed characters and everything, but when you have someone who is a detective, and technically she was good at her job, she figured out who did the murdering and whatnot, but like, you follow this character who just spent the entire book obsessed with her sister and obsessed of just having her life and living this sort of magical existence that she doesn't have, or she was play acting the entire time. And then you find out that basically it just made her seem so pathetic to me, and I was like, I don't jive with that kind of character.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like she was from the start very unsure of herself, very insecure in everything that she actually did. Because she solves the murder in the end, but throughout the book she's just like
drinking.
She is very much drinking, but I didn't have a problem with that. It was more like she was basically insecure in her own abilities. She was like, I just deal with divorces and fraud scams, and this is like too much and way above like what I know and do. Although she's been doing this like for 15 years, so okay, I get it, it's bigger and all, but you have been doing this for years. So I'm assuming you have some kind of abilities here, like, that you could use. Like Maya said, she was constantly kind of searching for her sister's approval, and like, we were discussing like whether it was like, was it envy? Was it just fooling herself that she didn't want the life that Tabitha has? And like, she just kept insisting on how ordinary and plain she was compared to her sister. So this, like, are they twins?
Yeah, they are twins.
They're twins, and like, she was constantly comparing herself to Tabitha. And she was talking about double vision. There's like this romantic plotline that goes, like, it's not very big, but like, and she constantly thinks in her actions towards this guy, like, oh, what would the magical like, she doesn't say magical Ivy, but like, what would this Ivy do? Not the real Ivy. And like,
the one who lives in this magical world and is surrounded by magic.
It almost felt like every relationship was a bit fake in the book because of it. Because, as you said, she was play acting everything the whole time. Like, she didn't want to admit to anyone that she doesn't know magic, that she is not magical, because, you know, like, she didn't want to seem out of place. Yeah. So all of that kind of
but the mystery overall was interesting to follow.
Yeah.
If you get out of weird theories like I did. But overall it was fine.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it was a bad book. I mean, I didn't have problems going through it. I wanted to know.
Yeah, it was a quick read.
Yeah, I wanted to know who the murderer was. I was like interested, like, how did this happen? What's happening? I didn't vibe with the main character. That was the main issue for me.
All right. So, out of all of Sarah Gailey's books that we read, which one was your favorite?
My favorite. Gosh, I think I couldn't decide between like still the hippos, like which were like the introduction, like I don't know, and the Echo Wife. The Echo Wife.
Echo Wife is definitely my favorite.
Echo Wife was
fantastic.
just.
Yeah.
I think you can literally see like the author's growth throughout their books, and like the Echo Wife is like the latest one.
Yes.
And I believe they have a book coming out soon, like maybe this year, and it also sounds very interesting. So like I definitely like the fact that you don't like, maybe that's for somebody a bad thing, but you don't actually know what you get yourself into every time you read their book.
That is true.
Because every book is like almost a different genre, a different story. Like here it's murder. You have adult, you have YA, you have like what was it, the history one? I always forget the genre. The hippos. Alternate history. You have sci-fi with Echo Wife. So like there's like this big range that the author covers, and like I wouldn't say that we thought anything was actually bad.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think Upright Woman one that was the only one that we had like we're a bit of a but I think that's a very good percentage out of everything. We pretty much liked
all that we read, to various degrees. But so we are continuing with reading Sarah Gailey.
What is your
Echo Wife? Definitely. That was the one. Well, when I started reading it, I couldn't put it down because it was so interesting. Because you're trying to figure out what happened, and also the relationship between the wife and the clone and the husband and the whole. It was so fascinating, and I really, really enjoyed it.
So we would definitely recommend at least that you try at least one of their books. You know,
pick the genre you like. You'll find a book in it. So.
Yeah. Basically, except for romance, I think.
Yeah.
That's the only one that still hasn't, come into play.
Yeah.
But like definitely, I would recommend Sarah Gailey.
All right. So you can check out all our other Sarah Gailey reviews somewhere. All right. And you can also check out the links in the description box, which leads to some worldwide matters that you can check out and see if you can help in some way.
Yes, please like, share, subscribe, press the bell button if you want to get notifications whenever we post new videos.
And thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.